Hey, my name is Ivy, and we're back! We're back at it again with another box of sparkly goodness. This is part 2 of my Prettiest single shadows. Honestly, I just couldn't believe how many of you loved and responded to part 1 of this video. I had so much fun kind of going through my collection and picking out the shades that are really special to me. And to be able to do it again and look at everything with a new lens was really exciting. This is a bit more of a party mix this time around, so a few more brands, a bit more variety in texture and shade, and just generally speaking, more shadows that give me that amazing soul connection. So these are some favorites that I'm sure you will fall in love with, and some I'm sure you already know about. I can't wait to get into the swatches with you, so here's a slow, nice look at the box. And then let's get into the swatching. So we're starting off with Glass Slipper. This is a positively ethereal shade from the brand Give Me Glow Cosmetics. It's one of their foiled press pigments, and it has this gorgeous kind of sky blue periwinkle base with a very feminine, fluttery pink shift to it, kind of like a straight pink glitter. It is really, really perfect for a springtime hit of pastel color and shimmer. I think that the name is absolutely fitting. I just love how it really gives you that like very ultimately like dainty kind of touch, but with a bold hit of color. Like that blue is really bold, but it still feels super wearable and extremely feminine. This is another Give Me Glow Cosmetics shade. This one is called Party Monster, and it is very fitting again for the name. It is legit a party in a pan. I mean, the pink is kind of this like both muted but still very vibrant fuchsia with that teal green sparkle, and it's extremely flaky and glittery, but still when you swatch it out, it can become quite a smooth pigment on the eyes. It's just got such pow to it, and it is the most fun to play with. I love pairing this with like an acid lime green, which I know sounds insane, but those colors together just really set each other off, and I love the texture of this shade. Okay, I literally cannot tell you how I fell in love with this color. This is the shade Sundog, and it's from the Earthborn collab between Seeking Shifts on Instagram, Riley, and Shine by SD Cosmetics. And it is such a mysterious, sexy beauty. Like it's this grayish blue base with an orange kind of gold shift to it. You can really see the reflect in it when it hits the light. And on the eyes, it can be both subtle but still extremely alluring. Like it has just that sexy kind of mystery to it. And I love that kind of gray base pigment to it. It plays so nicely with neutrals, plays really nicely with bold shades as well. I just think it brings a lot of subtlety, and that's kind of what Riley is known for, like spicy neutrals. And this is totally an ultimate spicy neutral. This is Ube from Looxi Beauty. It is named after the flavor, which you might know from bubble teas or ice cream. It's that lovely lavender, like totally delicious purple shade. And they've added a teal green blue reflect to it that makes it feel literally like ice cream. I love that this shade can look very pastel, but if you pair it with other bold colors, it really brings out that like hot teal shift to it. It's extremely soft. It's very wearable. The pigment in it is really, really smooth. It's not super glittery, and it just has that really kind of wet looking topper effect to it, which I personally love. Like I wear those shades probably more than anything else. And because it has that really soft lilac shade to it, it just pairs so well with so many other shades, and it feels like the perfect color for spring. Okay, this is an oldie, but a goodie. And I know a lot of you may not have Nars single shadows in your collection, but I do. This is one of the very first single shadows that I ever bought. It is the shade Earthshine from Nars Cosmetics, and it is a really beautiful and approachable champagne taupey sparkle shade. It's extremely versatile, and the reason that it stayed in my collection, it is honestly just so pretty. Like, I just can't get rid of it. I fell in love with it when I first found it. Again, it was kind of my like gateway drug to single shadows, and I think that Nars doesn't get enough credit sometimes for their singles. They are a bit expensive. I don't currently have any other of their single shadows in my collection, but I have kept Earthshine because it remains just so high up in my heart. Like, it's got that very subtle twinkle sparkle to it. It has that very wet kind of sheeny effect. It's really just a beautiful everyday staple. Next up, we have the shade Lyra or Lyra. I'm not sure how you say it, although I think it's Lyra, from the brand Terra Cosmetics. This shade will blind you. I am not exaggerating. It is blinding. It's got that very flaky formula. It's kind of reminiscent to me in a pressed format of like the Danessa Myricks Chroma Flakes, I think is what they're called. It's got unbelievable shine and reflect to it that when you swatch it, I mean, prepare yourself. It will blind you. So you can see the flakiness on my finger swatch here. Of course, when you kind of blend it in, and if you were to put it over a glitter primer, it really does smooth out, but oh my word. I mean, I'm like, look at that. Just look at that. I think that the yellow base pigment in particular makes it super fun. Like, you could really amp this up with other very bright neon colors, or you could do a totally like neutral, brown taupey look and just have this for a hit of color on the center of your lid, and it would look fantastic. But I just can't, whenever this shade is around, I can't stop staring at it. It has unbelievable sparkle shift to it, and I love that like uber flaky texture. I know I'm always telling you that I'm not a big purple person, but it turns out that I'm a liar, because obviously I am by the shadows that I have. This is Dandelions Cosmetics Starbloom. It is a beautiful satin finish shadow, and it's got that indigo purple blue base pigment with a teal shift. It's really smooth, and I like to think of this as like a subtle bold, or like a bold light color, if you will. It looks a little intense in the pan, maybe not the most approachable shadow, but in fact, when you swatch it out, it is so soft and light. It's extremely wearable. Like, I have found this to be more of an everyday shadow than anything else, because you can see that kind of wet flip sheen to it is just so stunning and so beautiful. I love this color. It is one of my favorite Dandelion Cosmetic shadows by far. This is a shade from the brand Bechy Beauty, which is a smaller independent shadow brand, and this is the shade called Nefertari. It is one of their chroma hybrids. They have a few different types of formulations for their shadows, and if you are looking for an insanely ultra metallic shadow, this is it. You will not find anything more intense than this metallic. And if you're a neutrals lover like I am, you are also going to fall in love with the shade. It's kind of a dirty bronze. Like, if you were to give bronze that grungy edge, that is what this shade is. And you can just see, oh my God, like it's the most reflective thing that I probably have in my entire shadow collection. It's like you're wearing molten liquid bronze on your eyes. It's just, I mean, it's a showstopper, and I love the finish. This is Lightspeed by Terra Cosmetics. It has an insanely saturated, beautiful sunflower yellow base with a really hot pink kind of glitter shift to it, and a little bit of green. So it's got that kind of grungy edge to it for being a very sunny, happy yellow. I lusted after this shade for so long, and when I finally got it in my hands, I was not disappointed. It just has a really ethereal, kind of magical shift to it. I love it. I use it all the time. It's a classic Terra Moons shade. This is another Terra Moons classic shade that I know a lot of people have in their collections and absolutely love with good reason. This is Moontide, and it is one of the most beautiful shades that I have in my collection. I'm actually shocked that it didn't make it into my first roundup because it is that beautiful. I often forget about it though, because it is really intense in color, and so I don't wear it all that often, but man, it is so beautiful. It just has the most beautiful base pigment to it with that extremely high shine reflective teal shift, and I love it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite blue purples in my collection. I think that it stands out amongst my shadows as like a top favorite. Super smooth. This is Climbing Vine by Clionadh Cosmetics. You guys already know I love Clionadh Cosmetics. I think they make some amazing, intensely pigmented special shadows, and Climbing Vine is no exception. It is one of their Earth Vibrant multi-chromes. It's one of my favorite versions of their formula, and this, I like to think of it as like a more muted, even more wearable version of Glass Slipper, which I showed you earlier in the video. It has this kind of sagey but still sky blue undertone to it and a pink shift. It's really subtle but really beautiful, and I think that if you are a blue person, this is an extremely wearable blue, and even if you're not a blue person, this is an extremely wearable version of blue. Has a lot of depth to it, a lot of sheen, and just a lot of sparkle. I don't think y'all are ready for Ice Blink, if I'm being totally honest. This is another one of the Earthborn Seeking Shifts Shine by SD collab shades, and when I first put this on my eyes, I died. I went to another place. It was like I put crushed up diamonds on my eyelids, and that was the end of me. That was the day that I died. I know that the video isn't quite doing it justice. I really tried to pick up on the insane amount of sparkle. You kind of see it in little shifts, moments here and there, but rest assured, when you wear this on your eyes, it is more beautiful than you ever imagined. It is the perfect topper shade. They nailed it. Wicked Witch by Looxi is one of my favorite, more muted multi-chrome shades. It has a satin finish and it has a beautiful shift, kind of from deep purple to deep teal. It has a slightly blackened base, or kind of grayish blackened base, and it has that kind of like satin sparkle formula. It is really iridescent, really beautiful, but again, really muted. Like if you're looking for kind of a muted, darker approach to a multi-chrome, or if you like the idea of a blackened base multi-chrome but you're not quite ready to commit, this is kind of your intro shade. Like, it is extremely wearable, very neutral leaning, and it's basically like a lighter version of my favorite kind of shade, a reddened base, blackened base with a teal shift. We are ending on a shade that I am convinced the brand made for me, because this shade is called Wall of Ivy by Clionadh Cosmetics. It is another one of their Earth Vibrant multi-chromes, and you are not going to convince me that they didn't make the shade for me. Not only is it actually named after me, but it is my exact shade that you guys know I love. It is a reddened brown base with an intense teal shift, and it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, you're going to see in a second when I swatch it just how perfect it is, but bam! I mean, can you believe? Tell me that shade wasn't made for me. It was made for me, and it could be made for you too. If you see this and it makes your heart skip a beat like it does mine, then it was definitely made for you as well. So Wall of Ivy, oh my gosh. I love it so much. Okay, I tried to speed through those reviews this time, and I wanted to say thank you again so much for all the love on the first round of this video. I hope you loved the second one as much as you loved the first one, and that you will find inspiration through this video to go into your own collection. Look at your own makeup, find the colors that you already purchased that speak to you, and put them all over your face, put them all over your hands, put them anywhere you want, but just fall back in love with the makeup that you have, because that is the best thing that I get out of doing a video like this, is just falling back in love with my own collection and remembering why I wanted to buy these things in the first place. Color for me is just a form of relaxation. It brings out my creativity. I love getting to share that with you guys. So I want to say thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe before you leave this video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.